Whether you have an immaculate fleece or your fleece looks like it took a roll through the hay pile, combs are known for their amazing ability to produce pristine fiber ready for spinning in one process with one tool. I'm Baruch. I'm the owner and product designer at BAM Fiberworks. I've spent countless hours combing fiber and have refined the technique to freestyle combing. These concepts also apply if you want to use one comb clamped to the table and do stationary combing. Here's how it's done. Start by loading your comb. A comb holder makes this really easy because it frees up both our hands to work with the fiber. There are 3 tips to keep in mind while loading your comb. First, always load the cut end of the fiber onto the combs. Not the natural end, but the cut end. At times it may be challenging to determine which end is which in your fleece. If this is the case, just make your best half-second decision, pull it out, put it on, you're good. The next thing to keep in mind is to not hook too much fiber over the back of the tines. If we have extra fiber over the back of the tines, this will be good fiber wasted. We don't want that. Instead, just latch enough to get a good hold on the combs and slide it down to the bottom of the points. Depending on your lock, it may be necessary to fluff the base of the fiber up a little bit to get a better hold on your tines. The last thing to remember is not to overload your comb. I recommend about a quarter way up for beginners. Less is easier when you're getting started. When you've finished loading your comb, all the fiber will be packed at the bottom. It's helpful to lift it up over the bottom half or 2/3 of the tines. This is going to make it a lot easier when we go to comb through the fiber. Alright, the comb's loaded and we're ready to start combing. First, let's get the hand position correct. Place your thumbs on the logos on the back of the wool combs with the loaded comb in your left hand. Next, position the combs away from you with the comb in your right hand angled down and away from you and the comb in your left hand angled up and away from you. This position takes pressure off your arms and hands and makes quick work of combing. There are 2 things to remember while combing. First is always start at the tips and work your way deeper. Don't take too big of a bite. The next is to make sure you're making long strokes with your right hand. This makes the fiber clear the comb and not get caught up and tangled if you make too short of a stroke. Continue this until all the fibers combed off of your left hand comb onto the right. Here at the end, we'll be left with a little bit of good fiber on the comb. To get this off, we need to come at it at the other direction. Here's where your hand placement makes quick work of this. Without changing your grip on the combs, rotate both combs a quarter turn so that the comb in your right hand is pointing up at an angle and the comb in your left hand down at an angle. Now we can come up at it from the bottom and reverse directions. Do that quarter turn again, come at it from the top. Quarter turn, come at it from the bottom. And this way, you can very quickly clean off a comb. This takes a little bit to get the hang of, but once you have it down, it makes quick work of combing. You'll notice you'll be left with some remnants that you can remove before you finish the second half of the pass. This is great because in this way we can discard the debris and second cuts we don't want in our combed fiber. Keeping your hand position the way you started, finish the pass by combing the fiber back off your right comb onto the original comb. Our fiber's combed and we're ready to diz it off. A comb holder really comes in handy again because it frees up both our hands to work with the fiber. I'll put this cap on there just to protect the points while I work. First, reach behind the comb and raise the fiber up, spreading it over the bottom half or 2/3 of the tines. This makes dizzing off the fiber so much easier. Next, we'll kind of point all of the fiber in generally the same direction. Now you can pull it off with your hands or you can use a diz. I prefer using a diz because it helps me keep the fiber consistent. Feed a little bit through a hole. I like feeding the fiber through on one side of the comb, and then I work my way across as I diz it off. This helps keep the fiber length consistent, so you have long fibers mixed in with your medium fibers as you diz it off. Leave the diz hanging loosely between the comb and your hand. You don't want to hold on to the diz, just leave it hanging there and act as a guide. With one hand pinching top to bottom, I'm going to pull a little bit, slide the diz back, and then pinch side to side and pull a little bit. Slide my other hand back and pinch top to bottom and pull a little bit. And I'm going to repeat this until I pull all the fiber off the comb. Depending on how far you draft the fiber and how big of a bite you take, you can control the size of your sliver as you pull this off. Wow, isn't that beautiful comb top ready for spinning? If your fiber gets difficult to pull off, it might be helpful to change directions. Maybe pull to the left or to the right. As you get down to the end, we're going to have the bad fiber left on the combs. We don't want to pull too far or we'll start getting some of that debris out. Just pull far enough to where you stop getting all the good fiber off and bad starts coming out. Then we'll break it off. If you're not planning on spinning this right away, wrap it loosely around your hand into a little nest. You can keep this in a basket and collect them until you have enough to spin. If you have any questions about combing, leave them in the comments below. I'm very happy to help. Also, give this video a like and subscribe. We have some very exciting content coming up. Some fun testing videos where we do different types of fibers on different tools with different preparations and see how they turn out. Also some more how-to videos. I want to give a special shout out to Susan McFarland for teaching me wool combing years ago and getting me started in this. Until next time, I'll see ya.